Hello everyone, and welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Sao Paulo for the MSEM form. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 4 match between Chumbeque, who is on Naya Clerics, and Cyber Chronometer, who is on Bant Control Ram. So Chumbeque's deck is essentially a pretty standard tribal deck, but it also uses a bunch of life gain synergies in order to fuel its main engines. It's playing 8 of these Soul Sisters, which curve nicely into stuff like Keeper of the Sanctum, which thanks to its self-entering, makes one if you have a Soul Sister, or Soul Sun Sigil Ordainer, which allows you to draw a card on its. We have Cyber over here play Epic Encounter. So Cyber's deck is like an interesting mix of control and ramp. Like it's definitely not dedicated ramp because it's running a bunch of interaction. You have the main board Setting Suns, which are the Wrath of Gods. You have Event Horizon and Out of Body Experiences, which are 2 and 1 mana removal respectively. But it allows you to the Epic Encounters allow you to tutor up Heart of Zadina, which is a huge ramp engine. It also has main deck Recall Forgotten Aeons, which is 1 blue and a green, draw 2 cards, and you may play an additional land this turn. So basically, grown up Explore, and all of your finishers are reasonably expensive, like Children of the Clouds, which is a powerful which allows you to both stabilize and put down a large. Speaking of a large board, though, Chumbeque's going to start building one up, plays the Keeper of the Sanctum, creates a Cleric token, swing in for one with the Soul's Attendant. Next turn can probably play like a Sun Sigil Ordainer, or you probably want to play out the Sun Sigil Ordainer, try to draw into a third land, and then once you hit Carnival Utiri, it's all uphill from there. Carnival Utiri is a Spanish promo, if you speak Spanish. Whenever you gain life, clerics you control get +1/+1 in turn. So it's kind of the top end lord. Anyways, Cyber, I believe, top decking the Recall of Forgotten Aeons, immediately windmill slams them, saying, well, I'm trying to draw into one of my Setting Sun wipes anyways, and getting to ramp in the process is pretty fine by me. And turns out Chumbeque doesn't even need to draw to hit the red source. Hits the mountain off the top of their deck naturally and is going to play the Carnival Utiri. Makes another Cleric, and then their existing creatures or their existing clerics get +1/+1. So yes, and because so you get the Utiri enters, you gain 1 life, and they all buff up. Then Keeper of the Sanctum causes a Cleric token to be created. That enters, you gain a life off Soul Attendant, and that buffs everything, which is why Cyber just suddenly took 10 damage there. Cyber is dead on the untap, but fortunately has interaction here. Can ostracize our orb to grab probably the Keeper of the Sanctum, and then out of body experience the Utiri. That way you're only taking 4 next turn, and then it gives you time to set up for a Children of the Clouds. And the reason that you'd want to, if Cyber was heads up about this, is the reason that you'd want to permanently kill the Utiri with the out of body experience is that. Oh, also yeah, actually, you can fix with the white. But yeah, anyways, is because Chumbeque does have Event Horizon in their list and also in their hand, which can exile the Ostracizer Orb and return the Utiri back, which Cyber would immediately die to. So Cyber's being heads up about that. Oh, is Cyber thinking of Epic Encountering? I don't think that they have anything good in the sideboard that they can cast for. No, it looks like the Bahuum is the thing, and that only gains them some life, doesn't even remove the board. Oh, interesting. Cyber's going to play Tamiyo Lunar Arcanist instead. I guess the thought being that if you kill the Utiri, you only take 5 next turn, and Tamiyo lets you draw deeper for a wipe? Maybe that's the logic? Still seems a bit loose. Oh no, you can play because of Tamiyo's +1, you can still play 2 removal spells. So you play Tamiyo, +1, scry 2, and then you untap the planes. Then you can both play Out of Body Experience Orb. Okay, so it's basically the same line I was suggesting, except you also get to play a Tamiyo in the bargain. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and this way you don't need to use Heart of Zadina to make double one. Okay, so it's going to run out the Ostracizer Orb first. If this hits Utiri, then Chumbeque wins next. So it has to hit Keeper of the Sanctum. Oh no, and takes Utiri with the Ostracizer Orb. Oh no. Or well, I guess Cyber isn't quite dead, would just go to 1. I guess still has 1 white up for the out of body experience. Okay, Chumbeque top decking another Event Horizon. A land would have been preferable, so that could have played the Sun Sigil Ordainer or the Servant of Akatosh. But yeah, Chumbeque's just going to immediately run out the Event Horizon, exiling the Ostracizer Orb, and I don't know if Cyber has to out-of-body experience in response at some point here to prevent Keeper of the Sanctum from creating a token, right? Or you have to kill the... No, actually, you can kill the Soul's Attendant. Killing the Soul's Attendant stops the life gain trigger altogether. So it's probably... Actually, it's probably the best. It's weird to trade one for one, but it's... Yeah. This just shuts off the life gain completely. Sometimes it's easy to just assume that the life gain is just a feature that comes with these cards, but... Oh yeah, Soul's Attendant... So yeah, my suggestions to kill Keeper of the Sanctum earlier were misguided. It's definitely the Soul's Attendant. So now Yatiri comes back, but no life gain to be had. Chumbeque can still swing for 4. And the question is, do they swing for 4 at face or at Tamiyo? Okay, all at Tamiyo. Interesting. And I guess the thought is they have exactly 7 damage on board, so they can kill Cyber next turn. And Tamiyo allows Cyber to potentially draw into an out if this game gets prolonged. So now Cyber untaps. Living another turn is pretty good, especially hitting a land there. Crack the land, and then with Heart of Zadina, how much does Cyber have here? Has 8 mana in total. So that'll be Children of the Clouds, X equals 7, gain 7 life, go up to 14, make 7 birds, can chump and kill all of Chumbeque's board. I think that the reason that Cyber is hesitating, obviously, is because Carnival Yatiri gives trample. And so if Chumbeque has another Soul Sister, things could become a little dicey. But I think you could also reasonably assume that Chumbeque doesn't have another Soul Sister, because otherwise they would have played it earlier to double up on the triggers and just kill you already. Obviously, like, top decking is always a worry, but... Okay, after fetching the plains... Oh, Cyber's gonna Epic Encounter. Can Epic Encounter for... Oh, can Epic Encounter for Mary? Oh, that's actually quite good. Yeah, so it's going to Epic Encounter for Mari, Dawn, Resurgent, and because of Heart of Zadina, can make 6 white, cast Mari, destroy all creatures, and then stabilize up to 11. Yeah, that's a better line than the Children of the Clouds line, because it guaranteed impacts the board. And that stabilization for you, Cyber went from potentially dead to no prob, Bob. And Mari isn't killable by the Event Horizon, so this is going to be a difficult hill to climb. Chumbeque doesn't have any ways to trigger Sun Sigil Ordainer right now, so probably just has to play like Servant of Akatosh, Sun Sigil Ordainer, pass. And next turn, Cyber has like Children of the Clouds for an insane amount, or like I think you can also play. Can you play? You can play Tamiyo and also Children of the Clouds for a lot. So, okay. Oh yeah, actually only has 1 green source, so Chumbeque can only play one of Servant of Akatosh or Sun Sigil. Decides to go with the Servant of Akatosh. I kind of disagree with this because I feel like you want to play the Sun Sigil in order to potentially draw cards. And then if you play Sun Sigil first, you can swing at Mari for like 5 with the Parish Paragon alone next turn. And Sun Sigil goes buffed to a 3/3 because of Akatosh. So you have like much better attacks potentially. Yeah, I'm not sure why Chumbeque played the Akatosh. Maybe I don't know. Also, Cyber top decking another wipe. This game is feeling this game went from it's over for Cyber to Cyber has all the tools. It's over for Chumbeque because again, Chumbeque doesn't have any burn. Children of the Clouds really stabilizes the board and gives Cyber a proactive win con. And Setting Sun can kill just about anything. And Tamiyo is another walker on top of the existing walkers that just like generates even more card advantage in Cyber's favor to just grind out this game to a close. Okay, Chumbeque top decks and plays another Parish Paragon with the 1 Parish... Oh, is also going to Servant of Akatosh. In response, Cyber's going to tap all the way out for Children of the Clouds. So this is going to be Children of the Clouds X equals 7. So Chumbeque can quadruple block the Parish Paragon and kill it, and also save Mary. And then next turn can Mary +1 exile Servant. And the reason that you don't block the Servant of Akatosh, did Cyber forget to gain the life off of Children of the Clouds? Okay, no, is waiting to make the life change after. So yeah, quadruple blocks, kills Parish Paragon, and is set up in an even better position. Main 2, Chumbeque's gonna play out. Oh, playing out the Sun Sigil. If you're Cyber, do you untap Setting Sun here? Because that way you can 3-for-1 Chumbeque. I actually think that untap Setting Sun might be... And you keep your Mary, you get to Tamiyo. Okay, first of all, Cyber's going to play the top decked Terraformer's Globe. Okay, it draws into the 3rd Tamiyo, doesn't really need it. It looks like is tapping the Heart of Zadina potentially. I'm actually not sure. It doesn't actually need all that. Tapping for 5? What's going on here? Okay, making a bunch of green. Oh. Ah, is coalescing recall Forgotten Aeons from grave. No? Never mind. I am a liar. Is actually just playing Tameo. Well, that was a bluff. Can still... Oh, can... No, wait. Can untap Heart of Zadina. But then if you untap... No, okay. Is instead drawing with... Every line that Cyber does is just the exact opposite of what I was thinking. Okay, it draws 4. Did Cyber play a land this turn? Cyber did not, so can play either this island or the terraform... Or sorry, or the ocean. Discards the ocean monastery, plays the island. Can... Okay. Pluses on Mari, exiled servant of Akata. Swings in with the bird. Looks like keeping back 2 birds to potentially block and kill one of these. The interesting thing is, even though Chumbeque only has 1 card in hand, Chumbeque can use Event Horizon to exile Mari, and then it's not like the worst, but it definitely helps stabilize Chumbeque. So yep, Event Horizon coming down, gonna take out the Mari, and then gonna swing and kill Tamio, probably. Yep, and Cyber trades off 2 birds for the Parish Paragon, but Sun Sigil still gets through and kills Tamio. Of course, the unfortunate reality is, Cyber untaps. Oh no, Cyber chumps both? Okay, Cyber chumps both. I guess that actually still kills Parish Paragon, but I don't know why Cyber wants to keep this Tameo around when they have another Tameo. I guess you get that this way you can get double untaps of Heart of Zadina real big mana hours. But like, what would you even be using that for? Because you only have like, will that even give you enough mana to like coalesce this Recall Forgotten Aeons, cast another Recall Forgotten Aeons, and then coalesce? Like, I do not think it is giving you 17 or net 17. Okay, Cyber gonna Heart of Zadina, making a bunch of blue mana. And it looks like he's going to use it to coalesce the Recall Forgotten Aeons. Okay, then it looks like he's going to plus Tamia. Probably untap, he's going to untap the Dominion. And then can either Epic Encounter for another Mary. Chikyu Champion is pretty powerful. Or can just Recall Forgotten Aeons and just continue to solidify card advantage and ramp. Like, I think that, okay, yeah, it's going to play the Epic Encounter. I don't think that there's a universe in which Cyber loses. Like, Chumbeque simply does not, like, even with Theocracy, can't build a board fast enough to combat what Cyber's doing. And even if Chumbeque could, the Setting Sun. But yeah, it looks like it's going to Epic Encounter for Chikyu Champion. It looks like Cyber is going to end with style points this time. The hardcast Chikyu Champion is, I think, definitely the coolest control win con possible. And yeah, on Chumbeque's turn, is just going to play out the Theocracy. Just see what you hit. Okay, off of the Theocracy grabs a Soul Attend. I believe that of the Soul Sisters, this one doesn't trigger on itself. I don't remember if both of them say another, but I think the other one doesn't say another, which is unfortunate because otherwise would have been able to trigger the Sun Sigil Ordainer to draw a card. Of course, I am very much of the opinion that it does not matter now because Cyber is going to drop a Chikyu Champion this turn. And I don't know how Chumbeque ever recovers, if I'm going to be... And it looks like Cyber's just going for the biggest blowout plays. Also going to use Tameo to untap Heart of Zadina after making the mana. Okay, makes 7 blue. Or sorry, not 9 blue. Does have the mana. And here comes the champion. And with mana to spare is a scary part. Like, Cyber could still play a Tameo, untap Heart, and then just start this entire chain all over again. And then, like, Chumbeque does gain 7 life off the Soul's Attendant from all these entering, draws a card off the Sun Sigil, gets an Event Horizon. Cyber probably regrets not doing this earlier, but is going to ostracize her orb, grab the Sun Sigil Ordainer? No, he's going to grab the Theocracy, preventing Chumbeque from potentially hitting, I don't even know, a Carnival Yetiri probably wouldn't be enough here. Like, drawing into an Event Horizon is pretty fine because you can kill the bear, but like, you can't block the rest of this. And then Cyber's gonna play the uncoalesced Recall Forgotten Aeons from hand. Doesn't hit another land, unfortunately. So that'll be the end of Cyber's turn outside of... It looks like keeping up a mana for Out of Body Spirit, and then swinging in with the... can swing in with Pikachu, Recall Forgotten Aeons, and the bird. Chumbeque just takes it all, going down to 50. And on end, Chumbeque is going to exile the Theocracy. This is important because gets the ETB trigger on end step, and then gets the other trigger gets the second trigger after Chumbeck's draw step. So Chumbeck doing everything they can to have a fighting chance. Okay, draws into a land, not great, but will immediately get the Theocracy trigger, which will also, because of Soul Pendant plus Sun Sigil, draw Chumbeck a card. Okay, gets a Soul Warden. Turns out this one also says another, and I am hallucinating things. But okay, didn't. Oh yeah, and then draws another Soul System. I think the main issue is none of this is really enough to contend with Cyber's board. Like, you can make some trades, but and like survive, but then Cyber just kills you regardless the turn after. Chumbeck gonna play the other Soul Warden regardless. Definitely would have been really nice to draw Carnival Utiri at some point. Chumbeck also does have 5 open mana, so can gain an additional 3 life here. So yeah, it was going to gain 2, can gain 3 more to go up to 21, and has like a reasonable board here. Cyber like Cyber will swing out, and protect and like decimate it, but it's not like an instant loss like it. And like it's kind of crazy to say, given Chumbeck was empty-handed, and Cyber was just spinning their wheels and found a Chikyu champion, which is basically the biggest way to style on your opponent. Okay, and to be fair, I'm not even sure Cyber meant it that way. It's just like the biggest, most difficult to answer threat in their Epic Encounter toolbox. But despite that, Chumbeck still putting up a reasonable fight. I think Cyber should probably start by Tameo minus to see what more options they could have. Especially since if you want to Tameo +1, you can definitely just play another Tameo and Tameo +1. But you don't even really need to Tameo +1, you already have an instant disposal. So yep, is gonna Tameo -2, draws into 2 lands, an out-of-body experience, and Enlightenment. Okay, Heart of Zidina revving up once more, giving Cyber 9 white here. Gonna start off by Ostracizer Orbing the Sun Sigil Ordainer. In response, Chumbeck is probably just doesn't have anything. Oh no, Chumbeck doesn't even activate the ability in response. I think that is a little bit of a mistake, but Chumbeck just probably didn't remember that it had the activity, or didn't. Alternatively, wanted to use Servant of Akatosh's ability to put Utiri on top of his library, but then I don't know how good putting Utiri on top of his library is. And does tapping Servant of Akatosh instead of using it to block just leave you dead on board here? I don't know. I've not done the math, I'm going to be honest. There is the old adage, math is for blockers. Well, as a commentator, math is for players. Just let them play it out. And Cyber is going to coalesce the second recall Forgotten Aeons. He plays a Pool of Light. And Cyber can Cyber's gonna Event Horizon, kill the Akatosh. Yup, Event Horizon's gonna kill Servant of Akatosh. Now we'll see if and Chumbeck's just gonna GG there. Doesn't have the blockers to actually be able to deal with this. And what a game! I mean, we went from Cyber being on 7 life, staring down lethal next turn, to Cyber sitting on a hard-casted Chikyu champion. What a turnaround. Speaking of turnarounds, let's see what Chumbeck can bring in from the board to mitigate some of the big mana that Cyber's bringing to bear. So on Chumbeck's end, I think you'd probably don't want out-of-body experience. Imperial Claim is good for taking out Ostracizer Orbs, but your Event Horizons may already do it, and I don't think that Cyber's other permanents warrant bringing in removal that only hits artifact or enchantments. Burning Revelation, maybe? I could see this being the matchup for it. I don't know. Bahum is good to stymie. You use the -2 to kill their non-basic lands, in this case Heart of Zidina, so I think Bahum is probably coming in. Azun, I don't see it. You can kill other walkers though, so that might be a reason that Chumbeck brings. And All Enduring Mafua, it's a little bit grindier, but I don't know if it's really what Chumbeck. It does avoid. I don't know. I think the Bahums are a slam dunk. I don't know about Azun Mafua burning. I think that and the likelier of those is Mafua. Meanwhile, on Cyber's end, lots of their sideboard is as we see, Heart of Zidina, Cower, Bahum, all Epic Encounter targets. I think you do bring the Stand Unsaleable just because it's an aggressive deck. There's still the Pandemoniums are for control decks and the Sigil of decks. It's pretty simple. So yeah, you just bring in the 3 Stand Unassailable and then be like, yeah, I'll just back up my interaction with this, and then by the time you can hit me for another 7, I will have stabilized. And that's my predictions for sideboarding. Let's get into game 2. So it looks like Chumbeck on the play played a Soul Warden turn 1 into Keeper of the Sanctum, making a Cleric token. looks like had to mull to 5, unfortunately, and doesn't have a green source for the Sun Sigil. Um, you don't want to see this. You don't want to see this as a control deck. Cyber is just going to drop the Ostracizer Orb, grab the Keeper of the Sanctum to prevent Chumbeque from getting recurring value. And then next turn, we probably can run out the Recall Forgotten Aeon or Tameo. Probably not the Tameo because you don't exactly have blockers here. And with Perish Paragon, Chumbeque's just going to put more pressure on the board. Okay, Chumbeque gets down the Perish Paragon, just going to swing at face for... And the Event Horizon means that Chumbeque can threaten to just yoink the Ostracizer Orb. If probably didn't pull the trigger there because wants to save it for a walker. But yeah, Cyber is just going to play the Recall Forgotten Aeon, ramp and get some card advantage. Draws into a land and another Recall Forgotten Aeons. You probably just play, oh no, it's playing the Nebula. My thought is, oh no, plays the Nebula because Cyber wants to play the Terraformers. Usually, if you just play out the fetch and then just let it come in tapped, but Cyber did have a play they would say a Terraformers Globe, and hits another Epic Encounter. At this point, wants more interaction, but is getting some of their grindier piece. Of course, if you double Epic Encounter is nice because Cyber can go, okay, Epic Encounter, Heart of Zadina, Epic Encounter Mari, cast Mari 2 turns from now. Still, does Cyber have 2 turns to stay alive? Gets back the Keeper of the Sanctum after hitting the Event Horizon. That means his Perish Paragon is going to grow into a 5-5, and that Chumbeque swing for 7. Which means, once again, this is a situation where Cyber is dead on board next turn unless they can hit something. Top decking another Recall Forgotten Aeons, but kind of not what they want to see. I have to assume that the line is play Tameo or Recall. Tameo digs 1 card deeper, though. So I would definitely think that you play Tameo, -2, dig 3 deep, and the hope is that you find either Ostracizer Orb or an out-of-body experience to kill Perish Paragon. And then you still take a hefty 5 and go to 3, but you don't die. And then you can potentially Epic Encounter some ways. Interesting. Cyber's going to play the Recall Forgotten Aeon. Draws into 2 more lands, and then and that's a situation where it was basically game 1, except Cyber didn't have the removal they needed to stabilize. And that's crazy because that started off with it looking really shaky for Chumbeque, especially with the multi-5. But Perish Paragon, man, Tarmogoyf Eat Your Heart Out. It's a 2-mana 5/5, and just as grueling and long as game 1 was, game 2 was a sprint, and it's up to the players to see what is game 3 going to be. Cyber keeping a hand which does have the Sighted In, Stand Unassailable on 2, Intrepid on 3. Plus has Heart of Zadina for big value. Meanwhile, Chumbeque's hand has no turn 1 plays or no turn 1 Soul Sisters, which makes his hand a little bit more awkward, but does have Sun Sigil Ordainer on turn 2, interaction in the form of Event Horizon, and All Enduring Move, which was brought in for presumably recovering from wipes, and also because 5/5 Lifelink Indestructible is pretty not bad, especially when okay, Cyber just going to play Stand Unassailable on 2. Draws into another Stand Unassailable. It's definitely going to be a hill to climb for Chumbeque to actually get lethal on Cyber. Can't just go under like Chumbeque did in earlier game. And there's the Soul Warden. Chumbeque does hit the Soul Sister they needed, but a turn too late. Just plays it and passes. Next turn, probably looking to just Sun Sigil Ordainer. Is not playing it now so they can draw a card. And interesting, Cyber not going to play Intrepid here, just plays a Shock Fetch tapped and then plays another stand. Starting life total of 34? Question mark? And another Soul Warden is very good. I'm surprised Chumbeque isn't playing the Soul Warden first to gain 2 life. And draws into Ozin, also brought in the Ozins. So it looks like Chumbeque really did go for more of the Value Walker plan. And didn't play the second Soul Warden? Am I missing something? Is there any reason not to? I guess the reason is to bait Cyber into having removal, I guess? I don't know. I'm not sure what the love, because even if Cyber has removal, they'll just kill, or maybe the thought is like you don't play the Soul Warden or the second Sun Sigil Ordainer so that you keep up because Soul Warden plus Ordainer are an engine on their own to recover from wipes. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot Intrepid was nerfed to 4 mana, so Cyber could not have played. Is gonna play it now though. You probably I was about to say you probably tutor up Monument of Queens. Monument of Queens is your biggest mana sink that isn't named Heart of Zadina. So no 4th land for for Chumbeck there. Otherwise, would have been able to play Bahum and exile the Heart of Zadina. Does get Ozin though, and will -1 to grab Intrepid and then swing in for 3. And yeah, this is all 3 of the value walkers we speculated on out of the sideboard. Now the question is, can Chumbeck hit that 4th land to actually start getting them? Ooh, and Setting Sun for Cyber, unfortunately will not kill Ozin, which is a good reason that you run these walkers. Okay, he's just going to play Monument of then Heart of Zadina, okay, he's going to animate Monument. And the reason that Cyber's, so that next turn threatens to start killing Ozin and bring back the Intrepid and Snowball. Chumbeck's still not hitting that 4th land, gets a Soul's Attendant. Probably want to play the Soul, I was about to say, probably want to play the Soul, play something else, but no, he's going to go for another Sun Sigil Ordainer. Do both of them trigger? So does Chumbeck draw 2 cards here? I believe so. Yep. Parish Paragon, Keeper of the Sanctum. Oh, no 4th land still. This is really unfortunate. Just going to plus Ozin and poke Cyber and then swing in for... Okay, and now you have to play one of the Soul Sisters, unless I'm missing something real obvious. Yeah, okay. Because otherwise you're just going to discard them in. So yeah, plays the Soul's Attendant. Now I think Cyber probably untaps and Setting Suns here. Also has the option of Terraformer's Globe to do. Yeah, I think you're just Setting Sun here because it 4-for-1's Chumbeck. And it also prevents Chumbeck from drawing 2 cards a turn off the Sun Sigil. Okay, first going to play the Terraformer's Globe. See what the hits are there. Children of the Clouds. Okay, that's another good use. So basically you can Setting Sun now, stabilize, and then Children of the Clouds next. Alternatively, Children of the Clouds now, and then eat the board on attacks. But it looks like Cyber isn't going to risk that. Yup, yeah, it's just going to Setting Sun. Not going to let Chumbeck draw more cards off the Sun. And finally, the 4th land for Chumbeck is going to run it out. Probably you play Bahum here, exile Monument, because if you exile Heart of Zadina, Monument of Hits and kills Bahum and prevents you from killing it. The problem, of course, is that leaving Cyber with the Heart of Zadina lets them still Children of the Clouds, which is not a great time. Oh no, okay, Chumbeck is going to take the Heart of Zadina. This does open up untap, animate Monument of Queens, kill Bahum. And if Bahum is dead, I don't think Chumbeck has an answer to Monument of Queens, because it still becomes a land if you animate it, so Event Horizon doesn't tag it. And yep, Cyber does animate the Monument of Queens, and then swings in to kill Bahum. And yeah, so the Monument of Queens, again, it has lifelink, and it just constantly growing. I don't know if Chumbeck really has a good answer to it, is the reality. Which is why I think I really think Chumbeck should have just killed it first, because if Chumbeck had, otherwise, the only answer Cyber would have had to Bahum, it would have needed to have an Ostracizer Orb in hand to actually deal with it. Okay, but for now, Chumbeck is going to play Soul Warden into Keeper of the Sanctum. Yeah, just build up a board again, and then +1 Ozin on face. Is desperately trying to keep Ozin out of Monument killing range. But Cyber is still at 24 life. Despite Chumbeck being the deck all about life gain, Cyber is outpacing them significantly. Might continue to do so if they get to resolve the Children of the Cloud. Okay, Cyber's gonna recall Forgotten AI. I thought that Cyber would actually just hold up Children of the Clouds and then try to on end. Okay, looks like instead is gonna animate Monument. Okay, Chumbeck on the other end of the tap out from Afua to get back this card. It's a powerful card that Chumbeck. The problem is the longer the game goes on, the more next turn has access to 7 mana, so can just Coalesce stand. Let's recall Forgotten AI and just put down these large win. Okay, Cyber's gonna kill Ozin, gets back and also gets the Intrepid E. So can probably can just search up for do they only have one main deck called Heart of Zadina? I think they only have one main deck. They probably just Chumbeck can bear all of the weak as long as their deck does not have an answer. There's kind of not and I guess this I was talking about sideboard. I was like, why would you want? The out of body experience. Now I'm realizing the reason you cited the out of body experiences is because without them, you have Bahum and you have out of body experience. Your only answers to Chumbeck had a clean chance to answer Monument with Bahum and ended up choosing not to. Okay, Chumbeck drops a Parish Paragon, Soul Warden triggers, Keeper of the Sanctum triggers, comes down as a 5/5. But again, Chumbeck doesn't really have anything that can even Parish Paragon is fine, but if it ever comes close to racing Monument of Queens, Cyber just drops the Setting Sun, and then afterwards drops the Children of the Clouds. Okay, at start of combat, in response to Chumbeck swinging in with everything, while Cyber's tapped out, Chumbeck Event Horizons the Intrepid. It is one less threat on the board, but it's not going to stop Mafua from dying. Cyber has enough mana to animate Monument of Queens, kill Mafua, and still drop a Setting Sun is the issue. Okay, Cyber blocks the Keeper of the Sanctum with Monument of... Okay, and the reason the Keeper didn't die is because Perish as a 6/6 protects the other creatures. Monument of Queen only a 5/5 perished, and Cyber is going to drop this Sun. Chumbeque still has a Soul's Attendant plus Sun Sigil Ordainer to be able to draw a bunch of cards, but again, how much of those cards matter is the question, especially when, again, this Monument of Queen is only growing bigger. Okay, swings, hits All Enduring Mafua for 6, goes up to 30, and yep, on Chumbeque's turn, just gonna try Ascendant plus Sun, draws into another Mafua, but again, Chumbeque's out here is Bahum to kill Monument of Queens, and even then, how does Chumbeque recover from Children of the Clouds, Recall, Stand? Like, this is, like, sometimes, like, if, like, we're with Control, there's definitely games where it's like, it's over before the opponent realizes it's over, and I think, because even if, like, Chumbeque gets, like, the perfect thing of, like, Bahum into Carnival Yatiri, like, Cyber has all of and the answers are just gain an astronomical amount of life and then put down more threats, put down larger, and it looks like it's going to start off by, double animating Mon. Okay, so going to swing in for 8. And this basically means that Chumbeque is dead next turn if they don't top deck a Bahum. Well, actually not precisely. Because of Soul's Attendant, they'll be gaining some life. Oh, but main 2, Cyber is going to Ostracizer Orb the Soul's Attendant. No, okay, he's going for the Sun Sigil. I think that's a mistake here from Cyber. I don't think it's going to matter, but the reason I think it's a mistake is you know that Chumbeque has another Sigil Ordainer, and if you take the Soul's Attendant, you kill them next, unless they have another source of life gain. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that 100, but I don't think in the grand scheme, Chumbeque still doesn't have... Okay, Event Horizon hit the Ostracizer Orb, double Sun Sigil. Did Chumbeque draw from any? Looks like Chumbeque actually didn't draw from the... Did Chumbeque mess up the... No, Chumbeque should have drawn there. Okay, Cyber is just going to, on their turn, full swing with the Monument, hits Chumbeque down for 11 life, goes up to 47. I mean, who needs other cards? Who needs... Cyber has 4 other win cons, but it's the Monument that's going to carry home. And with that, Chumbeque's going to concede. Yeah, I think this all came down to the turn where Chumbeque -2'd on the Heart of Zedin rather than... because... Again, Monument of Queens does enable a lot of powerful win. It enables Children of the Clouds, it enabled Stand Unassailable, and Recall Forgotten Aeons and all. But the thing is, Chumbeque can fight through it. Chumbeque's other interaction can take care of it. Like, if a Cyber, like, drops the Stand Unassailable Coalesce, Mafua -2 can take care of it. Ozen -1 can take care of them. A huge Children of the Clouds, scary, but then you can fight through it with Servant of Akato or Yatiri buff. Monument... Bahum was the only, and I think that Chumbeque ended up being more scared of what potentially could be off of the Heart of Zedina rather than the threat that was in front of them. But yeah, unfortunate. But until then, it'll be Caillou signing off for now. See you all next.